At 2 a.m., my mom left a voicemail disowning me and threatening to cut me out of everything. I just texted, good luck. Before sunrise, I made 3 phone calls. By Monday, she wouldn't stop begging me to answer. The screen of my phone lit up the dark room like a beacon. 2:14 a.m. One new voicemail from Mom. I didn't even have to listen to the whole thing to know what was coming. Her voice was thick with boxed wine and pure venom. You selfish little prick, she hissed through the speaker. Your brother is facing real jail time and you won't even co-sign his bail? After everything I've done for you? You're dead to me. Don't bother showing up at the office on Monday. I'm cutting you out of the will, the business, everything. You are nothing. The line clicked dead. I sat there in the quiet glow of my screen. For 28 years, I had been the family workhorse. My younger brother, Tyler, was the golden boy. He could crash cars, steal money, and fail out of college, and she would always bail him out. This time, Tyler had stolen 60 grand from one of our commercial clients to cover gambling debts. My mother demanded I drain my personal savings to keep him out of prison. When I refused, she disowned me. I didn't cry. I didn't get angry. I just felt a strange, icy sense of peace wash over me. I typed out 2 words and hit send. Good luck. Then I brewed a pot of black coffee. Before the sun even crested the horizon, I made 3 phone calls. Call number 1 was to my corporate lawyer. Hey David, it's time, I said, staring out the window. Execute the termination clause on the operating agreement. See, what my mother conveniently forgot in her drunken rage was a tiny legal detail. Back in 2020, she nearly bankrupted our family's logistics company. To save the legacy, I quietly stepped in. I formed a holding company, bought the commercial warehouse we operated out of, and assumed all the corporate debt under my own name. She thought she was the boss because her name was on the letterhead. In reality, I owned the land, the trucks, and the licenses. Legally, she was my tenant. Call number 2 was to my commercial banker. Because my name was the sole guarantor on the business lines of credit, I instructed them to freeze every account. Every corporate credit card my mother and Tyler used to fund their lavish dinners and luxury. Cars was instantly deactivated. Call number 3 was to our chief dispatcher, Marcus. Marcus, it's me. I'm revoking my federal transport license from the company record. Effective immediately. Ground the fleet. Understood, Marcus replied. He'd hated my mother's arrogance for years anyway. Consider it done. The weekend passed in absolute silence, then came Monday. At 8:05 a.m., my phone buzzed. I ignored it. At 8:12 a.m., a frantic text came through. Why are there padlocks on the warehouse gates? At 8:30 a.m., another text. The bank says our accounts are frozen. Call me right now. By noon, the arrogant demands had dissolved into pure, desperate panic. My voicemail filled up again, but this time the tone was entirely different. Please, she was hyperventilating through the phone. The bank says you pulled your guarantee. Tyler's lawyer needs his retainer by 5 p.m., or they're dropping him. The dispatcher won't release the trucks. I don't understand what's happening. Please call me back. You're my son. We're family. She had tried to banish me from an empire I secretly owned. She thought she held all the cards, completely oblivious to the fact that I owned the entire casino. I listened to her sob for a solid 5 minutes, soaking in the sound of her reality crumbling. Then, I finally texted her back. You fired me, remember? If you want to discuss the commercial lease agreement for my warehouse, you can speak to my lawyer. Rent is due on the 1st. I blocked her number, tossed my phone onto the passenger seat, and drove out of town.